Good afternoon. This video is intended to be an introduction on how to do the chapter report through the National FFA Organization's web portal. A few things to note about the Alabama FFA chapter report, along with the National FFA chapter report. We use this data to speak to our stakeholders across the state and nation. This data provides us demographic information, student achievement information, and chapter achievement information, as well as a comparison based on enrollment to FFA membership. This is particularly important when visiting with our friends in the legislature and those that support career and technical education in Alabama. We're going to take you on a little tour of this how-to guide and how to enter your annual FFA chapter report through the National FFA Organization dashboard. So the first thing you're going to do is go to the ffa.org website, as you see here. Next, you'll go to the dashboard and you will enter in as a teacher advisor. Once in this portal, you'll want to go and visit any of these sections. We'll start with Manage My Profile. It'll prompt you to log in or sign up. So you'll go to the login portal. As you see my credentials here, we'll log into the system. And the first thing you want to do is you want to make sure that your credentials and your information is up to date as the instructor. So you'll check that information there. And then this is a step that you will be able to see as you go to the profile section. You'll be able to drop down and you should see your chapter profile, where in this case, I have state profile. So I'm going to take an extra step that the state staff will need, but you will select on this left drop down your chapter profile. So I'm going to use a search tool here on the state staff side and go to a chapter. In this case, we're going to choose Alabama and then 0001. This will be the Abbeville FFA chapter, and we're just going to use them as a model. So after you select your chapter, your profile for your chapter, you should see a screen that is similar to what's about to pop up here. And so we'll see Abbeville. I'll select Abbeville. Again, this is the state staff side. You won't have to take these additional steps. So you'll see your portal. At this point, I'm impersonating the Abbeville FFA chapter. On this dashboard, you'll see annual report. So again, let's pause a moment and go back. When you get into your credentials and your login side, you'll go to profiles, and you'll see instead of state profile here, you will see chapter profile. If you will click on chapter profile, it will take you directly to this page, and then you're going to click on annual report data. So as you click on this, I'm going to go ahead and unlock this annual report so that we can maneuver through the tabs as part of this demonstration. So what this means is that the Abbeville chapter has submitted their annual report for the 2020 reporting cycle. Now this information is based upon last year's data. So in some instances, it's a combination of this school year and last year's data, as we've not had FFA contests, all of the contests or state convention at the point that this is due. So you're relying on a year in the rear of data. So the first thing you're going to want to do is notice these tabs here across the top, and then you're going to have two tabs, a save and a submit button. It's very important that you do not hit the submit button until the completion of the whole document and all of the data is entered. If you have students entered through the FFA portal or AET, this will help out a lot in this instance. So let's take a moment and stop there. The purpose of this is to have every student enrolled in agricultural education in this portal, whether you put those students in through AET, which is recommended, and you can find in another how-to video in this series, or you put them in through the FFA portal itself. Again, the state staff recommends that you use the AET portal to put the members in. That way, each student enrolled in ag education can keep up with their SAE, document those hours, whether or not they're an FFA member. And you can control that system. what it does do is allow every student enrolled in your program to have a profile, which we think can then use for demographic data and a more accurate count on enrollment. So back to this particular screen, the first thing you're going to see is the AF&R pathways. Now keep in mind, as the course of study changes, these course numbers and these course titles will change as well. So 2020, 2021 will be a transition year where you'll see these courses, and then you'll also see the new courses that were just approved by the State Board of Education in 2020. So basically what happens is you'll take your enrollment data from your school, and whether that's a block schedule or a 7-period day or modified block, however many students are enrolled in that particular course. So if you're on a block schedule, for example, and you're teaching advanced agri-science for two blocks, you would put all the students enrolled in that particular course into this section as number of students, regardless of period. So if you had 2 periods of that, and there were 15 in each class period, there would be 30 enrolled in advanced agri-science and so forth. So once you do that, it's very important that you put in all that information. At the bottom of this particular screen, a lot of people end up with some trouble. These two numbers have to match. So whatever number is there and whatever number is there, they need to match. Once those match, and we want them to match accurately, hit the Save button. That'll save the information on this screen. And then you will move to the next tab, which is enrollment data. Now this is a grade band data that goes from grade 7 to 12. It breaks down race and gender. Get back to that screen. And so for each grade level, Abbeville does not have a middle school students, so we'll go to grade 9 where they do. And you can see the breakdown of the data by race and by gender. Please put that in as accurately as possible. The total number of unduplicated students here, which means in a perfect world, this is the number of students that are on the list, but they do not count if they're taking a first and second period or first and third block class, the same child. So unduplicated enrollment, and you'll complete this all the way from grade 7 to 12 if that is what's applicable to your chapter. You would hit the Save button again, move to the next tab. The next tab is leadership development activities, such as leadership training. That would be COLW at a district level. It would be WLC at a state or national level, things of that nature. So in this case, 5 students attended a leadership training above the chapter level. So that means COLW, a training, a meeting, a chapter president's conference, things of that nature. So you would hit Save on this tab. Career development events is the next. This is where you record how many students competed. Now it's very important that we put accurate information here, because this helps us determine the number of students we'll need to prepare for the next year and the materials we'll need and how we're growing as far as this contest goes. So you can see in this particular case, a 4-member team competed in floriculture, but they did not advance to state. Aquaculture, maybe we had a local contest here. Typically that's on a state-only contest, but not impossible to have a local contest. And then livestock evaluation is local. That means a county contest was held, and this team did not participate in the livestock evaluation CDE at the district or state level. And so that's how you would go about doing this. If you have a local contest, at a county level or chapter level contest, that counts in this column, how many students participated. If you have a chapter contest and you have 3 or 4 different teams competing at your chapter level, then by all means put those students in. District and state data will be verified through our side when that data is pulled. And so we want that to try to be as accurate as possible. And so once you finish that information, you hit Save again by clicking here and move on to the leadership development events on this side. And it would be the same here. Anybody that competed at the county level and say prepared speaking goes here. Usually that would be 1 from your chapter. And then if they advance to district and then advance to state, click Save on this tab, and we're moving to proficiency awards. And then per chapter, you would fill in the proficiency area. Typically we can leave local blank here, District and state is something we'll fill in. At present, our proficiency applications go straight to state. So typically the only column you're filling in here is state, and we're hoping to move to a district level sooner or later. So at that point, you would put in district as well as state. So if you had a student that made it through the district level into the state level, it would be in both boxes. If they only made it to the district level, then they would be in the district level and not the state level box. Put that information in per those award areas, hit save again, and then we're going to Agri-Science Fair. Is the same idea. And we encourage students to participate in Agri-Science Fair because they can take their Agri-Science Fair project and move that into a research proficiency category and double up. And so that's, you would then hit save again. And then you have a report tab that you can access all of your reports from years past. You can actually go into this and you can look at last year's report and use it as a comparison. This is a tool for you to use when you're speaking with your stakeholders at a local level. So as soon as you've finished all of that data, you go and you hit save one more time, and then you hit submit. It will pop up, are you sure you want to hit submit? And that you won't be able to go back and change anything. Once you do, you click OK. And then it says you have completely and successfully updated your annual report. The screen will refresh, and then you will see this where it says unlocked or locked again. It was submitted on 4/9/2020. So that's a quick tutorial on how to do the annual chapter report. It's fairly simple. If you do find yourself in need of assistance, please feel free to reach out to your regional specialist or state staff, and we can guide you through and help you troubleshoot those problems. That information to contact our staff can be found on alabamaffa.org on the contact page. I hope you found this tutorial helpful. Again, we appreciate it, and we look forward to producing this video series for you.